Hey, this is Jeff Rose, dollarsandroses.com. We're going to take a look at the first website of our monthly site review. This is something that I'm doing for blogmentoring.com. Jay Money from Budgets Are Sexy and Jana had this really cool idea for bloggers to help and mentor other bloggers. So I just thought, hey, what the heck, I'll do it. I'll help out. And this is actually the first website. This is the person I've been partnered with. Her name is Mindy, and she owns the website called the Insurist.com, which is kind of funny because I'm actually a financial planner, also do life insurance as well. So when I looked at the site, I could really relate to what she was trying to do. So Mindy, we already actually had a call with Mindy yesterday and kind of walked through some of the things that I noticed. She's fixed a few of those things, but she held off doing any more of the changes before I did this video. So this is her site. And I just want to go over some of the things that I noticed for her that she can do to improve. So without further ado, let's take a look. So here's her site. She is, like I said, an insurance agent. So she's trying to get new clients, basically offer more life insurance. And the first thing that I told her when I came to the site, so one, the cool thing about this site is, when you think of life insurance, you think of like boring, just, not very engaging, just bad websites. Initially off the cuff, like her website looks really good. I mean, it's very modern. It's very catchy header here. I mean, there's just really some really cool things going on. But the one thing I told her, if her main objective is to get, for people to get a quote or to contact her, I felt that the quote button needed to stand out more. Because when I first glanced, the first thing that I notice is this little chat button here. The orange really stands out. The blue is kind of there, but it's kind of dark, and compared to the header that's also dark, it just doesn't stand out more. So what I told her is, I think you either need to go orange, because I think people might be more inclined to chat versus actually get a quote, or go like a neon green or kind of a bright green. So I think that was the first thing that I suggested. The second thing that I suggested was, if you scroll down, you have this little psst, psst, click here, like, look at me. So you're like, oh, that's kind of intriguing. So, it makes me click. And then what comes up is her social media stuff. And as I told her, if somebody's coming to my website and I want them to get a quote, I don't care if they find my social media stuff. I think her header or the footer is really cool, but I felt that this psst, click here, that's distracting. And it makes you want to click, but to me, you don't want them to click here. You want them to click here. You want them to get a quote. So I think that was the thing that I think she should just have a footer. There's no extra button, no extra click. Just be there. Also include another get instant quote button there. Just you can't have too many calls to action, especially if you want them to get a quote. So that was the first things off the cuff that I noticed. I did ask her about this chat thing. It obviously was there. It's kind of distracting, but if there's value out of it, if people are actually utilizing it, then by all means keep it. And sure enough, she said yes, people actually do use that. So I actually am going to try to implement on that on my site as well. So anyway, all right. So the one thing she did change, her navigation menu. I think she changed it back. Okay, she had resources. Well, she still does. And I told her, I was like, resources, it's great, but it doesn't give me any reason to click. And whenever you go to what's under the resources, it was the calculator. So, how much life insurance do you need? The exam. So I felt that should say, like term life insurance calculator, or, how much insurance should you buy? Just something that's more engaging to entice me to click, because resources is not very attractive headline to engage people. Thought to get a quote was fine. Here's one thing though that I noticed. So I currently am viewing her site in Firefox, and her quoter here, you have to scroll down, so you only see a little bit of this menu, or the quote engine. But I did test it on Firefox, on Chrome, and also in Safari. And on those browsers, it's fine. But on Firefox, for whatever reason, it's not. And it's just another testament to why you need to test your site on multiple browsers. I know that I've done some I've done several site redesigns, and it might look fine in Firefox, but it's going to be all jacked up in Internet Explorer. It might be fine in Internet Explorer, but when you go to Chrome, it might be all screwed up. So you really, whoever you're working with, if you're doing it yourself, you're probably going to need some help. But whoever's helping you design your site, make sure they have the ability to, cross-test on all the different browsers and make sure it all looks good. So that was one thing, and she had no idea about this. And obviously maybe she has a smaller percentage of people viewing this on Firefox, but nonetheless, you want to just be conscious of that. The other thing was she had this what to expect page, which I thought, was really cool. I mean, it's giving you an expectation of what you need to do. And so I'm going through here. Here's how it works. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I think she actually should have some more pictures to kind of demonstrate what's going on with each step. Helps kind of tell the story. These are really good up here. I think it should also be included down here. But when you get down to step 10, then it's like, okay, you got to the list. Now what? Now what do I do? And there is no call to action to get a quote, to contact her. There's got to be something right here to entice people to engage. And really, that call to action should probably be on every single page up here, other than to get quote, obviously. But you got to assume that people are one, lazy, and two, stupid. And you have to make it as easy for them so they don't have to think about making a decision. They just make the decision because it's right in front of them. So that was another thing that I thought that she could also do. The same thing with the blog, too. I think the blog, she should have some call to actions, maybe underneath the post, just to entice people to remember, hey, if you want life insurance, boom. Here I am. Because there's really, other than up here, that's the only option to get a quote. She could also have another button in the sidebar that says, hey, get a quote, get your free quote here. Always just, and obviously this is more pertinent to her site, but, if you have viewers on your website, what that call to action is it to sign up for your newsletter? Is it to follow you on your social media? Is it like your fan page? You want to make it prominent so that they know exactly what they need to do. All right, so the other thing that I felt that she needed to do was when I went to her About page, so before I was going to have this call with her, I was curious to know who I was going to talk to. And as I told her, I couldn't find a picture of her anywhere. And I went to her LinkedIn profile, which had a little little picture, went to like her Facebook fan page and didn't really have any picture. It was almost like she didn't exist. I know that she's trying to build this brand, the Insurist.com, which I think is really cool. But I felt that her name, her face could also be attached to that brand. Because, my belief, people nowadays don't want to buy from a brand per se. They want to buy from a person. So they want to know who it is, who they're working with. And especially if she has a target niche that she's focusing on, her face, her story needs to be on here. And to kind of go along with that, I felt that she needed to have some video, some engaging video, whether it be on the About page, even on the home page that kind of welcomes people to the site, that lets them know, hey, here's who I am, here's what we do. It's those little things that help create trust, just creates value in the sense that they already know who you are. All right, so in the last basic thing that I told her to do, I think everything else is going good on the blog. The other thing that she needs to really focus on is guest posting. Getting her name out there, getting her name on other sites, and most importantly, start building some link backs to her site. She wasn't getting, I guess, she was getting some traction, but maybe wasn't getting the traction that she hoped. And, how you do that is you get your name out there. It's just like in the real world when you're networking, you got to network in the online world, and guest posting is one of those easy ways, if you can make some good introductions and then, write some good content, and that just will, expand your reader base and also get those ever crucial link backs to your site if she ever wants to start ranking in the search engines for any of the life insurance terms, which I told her is a very competitive market, which I know she knows. But, the only way to combat that is to start getting links out there, guest posting, and just get your name out there. So. All right, so this was our first monthly site review. I hope that this was helpful. I know this was a little bit different since this is a blog that's more focused on getting business, new business, not so much just for pleasure or, your own just personal hobbies and whatnot. But I hope that there's some takeaways that you can apply to your own site. And we look forward to the next site review, whoever that lucky individual will be. We look forward to helping them out. We appreciate it. This is Jeff Rose, dollarsroses.com. We'll see you soon.